Bruce Davidson applies the same principles using a stopwatch. His fitness program is based on interval training.
The ideas behind interval training are extremely simple and basic. The heart is a muscle, and the best way to train muscles, to make them stronger and to make them more durable, is to stress them for a short period and rest them, so that at no point is any muscle pushed to the point that it becomes fatigued. And the heart, being a muscle, then seems to thrive on shorter periods of work than it actually can take.
Bruce has pioneered this method of training since he first won the World Championship in 1974, and most of the top competitors now use the system in some form. Much of the work at his home in Pennsylvania is directed towards finding the right fitness program for each individual horse.
I use the swimming for all kinds of different reasons. One is I think it's important for the horses, if they're going to be real athletes and they're going to be completely fit, to be trained in as many different ways as possible. I think it's important mentally for them as well as physically. If you have a horse in hard training, there are a lot of things where if you can swim them, you can maintain their level of condition, and in many cases you can even improve it. But I mostly put it in just as an additive to their conditioning. And they got loose. No, she held on. It's important to remember why we do have these animals and why we do love them so much, but also to remember that they are fun as well. And there's nothing more fun than to have a JJ Babu that you can go to the Olympic Games with or go to badminton with and be a real contender, and at the same time do any of the things that just a normal horse would do. Oh, Nancy's got her boots on. We're going cross country. I don't think the danger interests me now, and it certainly never did initially. I think the level of agreement and understanding that a rider and a horse achieve is much more interesting to me. And probably if I had been as interested in getting to know people and understanding what makes them tick, I would have been much better as a human doctor or done something else with my life. But what captivates me is horses, and so I give my life to them.
I find that riding 5 or 6 horses a day simply doesn't do the trick as far as fitness is concerned. So I work up to 700 skips a day. It's going to be a big problem training for the World Championships in Australia, mainly because of the flight, the quarantine, boredom. Certainly for prices is a problem, and you don't know how the flight is going to affect the horse. One has no means of telling. So we're slightly going into the unknown.
For the World Championships, 6 of the countries which dominate eventing flew their horses, grooms and equipment halfway around the world to compete.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'd like to thank the Australian organisers for inviting us here to this event in Gawler. It's a long way to come, but it's marvelous to see so many of you here. The preparations have been made, everything's ready, so I think we might let the competition take over from the talking, and I declare that the 6th World Three-Day Event Championships will start tomorrow morning at 10:30.
Thank you, Your Highness. Now, we have a special song.
The first vet inspection before dressage is usually uneventful, almost a formality, to check that the horse is sound before the competition. But for one former world champion, it brought disaster. Bruce Davidson's horse, Dr. Peaches, was eliminated. It was a severe shock to the American team and an inevitably controversial decision so early in the competition.
The jury that examines him in the vet examination are the dressage judges. So if they felt, while watching him do his entire dressage test, that he was not comfortable in any way, they still have the power at that point to dismiss him.
Bruce is a horseman, and he do know that his horse was not fit. He do know it. And he try to show us in front of us. He set a mind to try to, but we're objective and we have to say no.
He goes home just like the rest of us, and we'll march on and go to our next competition and try to put things right.